Three Scotsmen, a Welshman and a Norwegian walk into a pub. It must be time for the Chris Sale YouTube Christmas special! Hello everybody and Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you all had a fantastic day on the big day and are all getting ready for New Year to say goodbye to the nonsense that has been 2020. So this is my Christmas special, something a little bit different, and like all good Christmas specials, I'm actually filming this in June. Not really, it's actually the 17th of December and I'm actually winding down for Christmas. I have been out shooting much this week because the weather has been absolutely terrible. So what I thought I'd do is spend some time in my lovely warm dry office catching up on some of the YouTube videos that I've missed this year. You see, the thing is, I haven't watched an awful lot of YouTube in the last 12 months because it always feels like there's something more important that I should be doing, something to help grow my business. So this video is basically a complete rip-off of the Channel 4 series Gogglebox. If you haven't seen that, for example, you live in America, it's basically a television program about watching people watching television. And I know it sounds awful, but it's actually quite entertaining. And I've called it Togglebox because TOG is an abbreviation of photographer. Clever, eh? So what's going to happen now is I'm going to watch some of the videos that I've missed this year from some of my favourite YouTubers. And I'm going to share my thoughts as we go along. Now this is completely unscripted. I haven't watched any of these videos before. I'll just pop these earphones in so I can hear what's going on. And we're going to jump straight to the first video. So first up is Landscape Photography on the Isle of Skye Part 1 by Sam and Hannah Bowes, aka Bowes Photography. Now this is the first in a long series of videos that Sam and Hannah filmed on their autumn trip up to Scotland this year. And they actually called in to say hello on the way up. But I unfortunately missed them on the way back down again.
The Isle of Skye is truly a mecca for landscape and wildlife photographers. Situated off the west coast of Scotland, it's hard to summarise the special place that this island holds in the hearts of so many people. Just around 1,600 square kilometres in size, it has everything a photographer dreams about, from dramatic mountains to stunning wildlife. Despite spending so much time in northwest Scotland, neither Hannah or myself had visited Skye before this trip, yet it had always been up there near the top of our list of places to photograph in the world.
Lovely intro there from Sam, and you can tell from his accent that Sam is actually from Scotland himself. No? Neither could I.
The other thing I should mention is that this morning I thought it would be a good chance to try out the S1R. So I've got the S1R on the tripod rather than our normal 5D Mark III.
Now Sam's actually using the Panasonic Lumix S1 in this video, and Lumix were actually running a promotion where YouTubers could get a loan of these cameras and feature in their videos. And a lot of YouTubers got hold of them and featured them in their videos, except me, because Lumix did not seem to want to lend me one whatsoever for some reason.
When we reached Camasunary Bay, the first thing that struck us was just how much plastic had washed up on the beach. Before our trip, we'd watched a film made by Cal Major called Sky's the Limit, in which she circumnavigated the Isle of Skye by stand-up paddleboard to highlight the problems the island faces with oceanic plastic. It was sad to see these effects of plastic pollution in person, and we'd highly recommend watching the film she made.
It's very sad to see that plastic on the beach. That's very sad indeed.
So I've kind of just gone for the first most obvious shot really to start off with, but I'm struggling both because we've got very flat, we have no light basically, it's very cloudy.
Wash your mouth out, Sam.
The weather forecast for today actually was supposed to be clear skies, which is why we planned to come up here today. So it's a bit of a shame really that the cloud covers so much, because it really is just very flat.
It does take a remarkable photographer to get something out of these overcast conditions. Lovely image. Well done. See? Perfect light for landscape photography. Lovely stuff there from Sam. Really enjoyed that. So that was Landscape Photography on the Isle of Skye Part 1. And actually, last time I saw Sam and Hannah, I did say that we wanted to see much more of Hannah in the video. So it's fantastic to see that they've completely ignored that advice. Next up is a video from one of my absolute favourite YouTubers. I think in the genre of landscape photography, he is the best storyteller. It's, of course, Oddbjørn Austervik. And this video is called The Ice Tunnel in Jotunheimen. The Ice Tunnel in somewhere in Norway, part 2, entering the ice tunnel. And I'm watching part 2 because I actually want to see Oddbjørn in the ice tunnel, see how he gets on. Obviously, there is a part 1, so, you know, check that out as well. I mean, just look at the cinematography of this.
This is absolutely incredible. I just don't think I can put words to it. It's like I'm inside something like an ice cathedral, and I'm in awe that I'm here right now in what feels like it's towards the end of this magnificent lifespan of this tunnel.
There he is, Oddbjørn Austervik, the only man that came out of lockdown looking like he did when he went in.
It feels good to be outside, but this was an incredible experience. Incredible. I can't honestly, I don't think I've experienced anything like it in photography. Closest I can get was maybe on Svalbard over the glacier.
That series that he did in Svalbard was just incredible. If you haven't seen it, it's one of my top recommendations for YouTube. Go and check that out. I'll put a link in the description below. You guys know the drill. Absolutely fantastic stuff there from Oddbjørn. I really missed his films this year. I want to make a real effort in 2021 to watch more of his stuff. I really love it. If you're new to Oddbjørn's channel, if you've never seen it before, boy, are you in for a treat. I recommend you find some time, just sit down and just work your way through his back catalogue. Because like I say, I think he's if not the best, certainly one of the best filmmakers in our genre on YouTube. So my third video is called Understanding Sunrise Light and Colour, Mount Doom, New Zealand. And this is by Ewan. And much like Oddbjørn before, Ewan is an absolutely fantastic filmmaker. I've been really looking forward to seeing this one.
Now, being a landscape photographer has got some benefits, like seeing some incredible sights, as we'll see in the next 15 minutes or so. But it also has some difficult aspects to it as well, like very early starts on often cold winter mornings, with the daunting prospect of getting to your location, which is often a long drive away. It's currently just after 3:30 in the morning, and I've got 3 hours to drive to the centre of the North Island, which is up at 1100 metres above sea level, and where it's usually cold in the winter.
As you can hear, although this is shot in New Zealand, Ewan's actually Scottish. And I spent an awful lot of time living and working in Scotland, and I found the Scottish as a race of people are just some of the nicest people that you're ever going to meet. And Ewan is super, super nice, even for a Scotsman. I had a bit of time with him earlier in the year. We were able to have a chat over Skype, and he just couldn't have been nicer to me. He could not have been more helpful. He's an absolutely lovely fella.
So this is the mountain that I'm here to shoot. And this is Mount Naruhoe, which is more famous for being Mount Doom in Lord of the Rings. Now this is down past Taupo, down past Turangi, on the land of Ngāti Tuwharetoa, the Māori tribe here. Mauri Iwi. And this is a stunning mountain. I've taken this before from the other side here, but this one here I've been wanting to take for a little while. Just amazing. And this light source here, this will be our illumination for this morning, and all photographs will be done in the soft light before the sun makes it above the horizon.
That's some of my favourite light to work in, that light that you get before the sun has actually risen. It's just gorgeous.
And I tried to get that scene further up the road as I was trying to find the location this morning, and I just couldn't get the mountain at that angle because there's a big range of hills off to the northeast up here. But what I do have, I'll show you this, I do have the very beautiful Whakapapa ski field.
Beg your pardon?
So this is quite an office. I'm going to take this. We've now got the sun, we've got a shadow, so we're in direct sun. 3-shot panel, I've made it darker. This is 0.4 of 1 second, f16, 3-shot horizontal panel, 50% overlap, and this might be my last shot. That's just absolutely stunning. That's been worth the 3-hour drive to get here. That's incredible.
You can't help but, smile at Ewan's enthusiasm. It's just fantastic. And Ewan's photographed all over the world, and he's not a young man. And I don't think he'll mind me telling you that. And he still gets that amount of excitement and that amount of joy from his photography. Oh, it's just wonderful to see. Fantastic stuff there from Ewan. I absolutely love that. He doesn't do many videos, so Ewan, if you're watching this, buddy, let's have more of this in 2021. I will certainly tune in to watch it. Absolutely fantastic. Right, my penultimate video, something completely different, I'm sure. This is landscape photography capturing interest and mood. And this is by Huw and Julian, who is a photographer, YouTuber that you probably won't have heard of because he has a very, very small channel. Huw's a good mate of mine, and I saw him earlier in the year and we had a good catch up, and actually gave him a little bit of advice about YouTube and how to create YouTube videos. So let's see if he's paid any attention to what I said at all. In fact, this may have actually been filmed when I saw him, because this is Raven Crag and I met him at Thirlmere Reservoir and it was absolutely bucketing it down. So we were going to go up Raven Crag, but I didn't want to go because it was chucking it down. So this might be filmed right after I saw him.
What I was trying to describe here was something that my friend and mentor Steve Gosling used to bang on about during his photographic workshops, and that notion was to capture the elements in a scene that interest me.
Huw and I have talked at great length about Steve and his approach to photography and how we want to photograph what we feel as much as what we see. So it's interesting to see him up there on Raven Crag doing just that.
Out of all of the frames that I created at the top of Raven Crag, this is the one that really works for me. It includes all of those elements that I talked about in the narration just now. And I also managed to find a view where there was a lone tree sticking out into the corner of the frame.
Lovely image there from Huw, and I always find it fascinating to see how other photographers tackle scenes that I know really, really well. So for example, in my case, I do everything that I can to get the trees that are there on the edge of Thirlmere out of the frame as much as possible. So I find it fascinating that Huw has included the tree, and of course, both approaches are completely valid. So I really enjoyed that from Huw. very different from the videos that I've already watched this morning. A bit more off the cuff, a bit more kind of a traditional vloggy style. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Very good from Huw. Go and check out Huw. He is relatively new to YouTube, hasn't done too many videos, and I think he could probably do with some support. So yeah, go and check him out. Right, my last video for this morning, and it's by my very good friend Julian Bairden. Although I haven't been watching YouTube much this year, I have made sure that I haven't missed too many of Jules. And this is his latest video, so I've been saving it for this. It's called Celebrate Your Photography, Create a Landscape Photography Calendar.
Hello, in this video I'm going to talk to you about my 2021 calendar. But don't worry, this isn't a sales pitch. The idea behind this video is to inspire you to create your own calendar so you can celebrate your photography.
One of the things that I really like about Jules' channel is that he does cover an awful lot of stuff that comes after the actual capture of the image. So many of us go out and we take photographs and we edit them and then they just sit on our computer. We don't make the most of our photographs, and Jules does an awful lot. He does stuff about printing, he's done stuff about books, and now this video about calendars.
So the webpage we're looking at the moment is colors.adobe.com, and in there I can store all sorts of color information and themes, and I've got a theme already stored in there that has all the colors in my logo. So if I ever want to select a color to represent any of the colors in my logo, I've got all the codes there ready to cut and paste into the relevant application.
That's a helpful tip from Jules. I don't do that. I have a logo myself with colors. I should really make more of it. Branding's very important in what we do, so excellent tip there from Jules.
So here's my 2021 calendar. Now I will point out that I bought all these calendars with my own money, but let me share with you my thoughts. First of all, I think the print quality is excellent. I think picking that art paper was a really good choice. It's given the calendar quite a bit of weight. It feels like a quality product. I mean, not that I'm selling it, but it's still nice that if you're going to do something like this, you want to make the most of it and, you know, have as high a quality a finish as you possibly can.
I think the quality of that calendar looks absolutely brilliant, doesn't it? It looks really, really good quality, but loved the images in it, mate. I think Jules is a fantastic photographer. I love his photography, and that looked really, really good. And like Jules, I actually produce a calendar myself, and this is my calendar for 2021. And like Jules, I don't sell them. This is, I make one of these every year. This is about the 4th or 5th that I've done. And they are just for my family and for very, very, very close friends. And Julian, this is your copy, mate. And this is my way of saying a big thank you to you for being such a good mate to me this year, for supporting me on my journey. So big thank you to you, mate. And I'll get this to you for the new year. Right, so that's it for my Christmas special. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed my choice of those videos. Some absolutely fantastic videos there by some fantastic YouTubers. I will leave a link to a playlist that features all 5 of those videos, so you can go and watch them at your leisure. And all that's really left for me to do is to thank you all so much for tuning into my channel this year. Your support has meant the world to me. It's kept me going through some pretty dark times. And I look forward to seeing you all in 2021. And fingers crossed for a bit of a better year.